For now, Florida says it will defy a warning from the federal government to stop its controversial voter purge. Florida Republicans, including the governor, Rick Scott, defend this program, saying it's intended to keep non-citizens from voting. Democrats argue it is just another effort to suppress the vote. Florida Congresswoman and Democratic Party Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz addressed that issue in the last hour.
This has been an insidious attempt to deliberately prevent groups of voters that were more likely to go to the polls and vote for Barack Obama and Democratic candidates from actually getting to the polls and doing that.
Now, according to the Miami Herald, Hispanic, Democratic, and independent-minded voters are the most likely to be targeted. Whites and Republicans are the least likely. In a letter sent to Florida's top elections official, the U.S. Department of Justice gave state officials until Wednesday to agree to put the purge on hold. But the office of the state's top elections official says the practice will be continuing. We're going to bring in now civil rights attorney Penda D, the founder and co-director of the Advancement Project. Penda, a spokesman for Florida's Secretary of State released a statement about this, saying, quote, "We have a year-round obligation to make sure that the voter polls are accurate. We're going to continue continue forward and do everything that we can legally to make sure that ineligible voters cannot vote." Now, we understand that eligible voters are actually being targeted as well in this, Penda. So how is that happening? How is this being able to wipe what would be eligible Americans off these rolls?
Well, thank you, Thomas. What the state of Florida has done is it has prepared a list of voters to be removed from the rolls that includes mostly citizens. And even though the state says that it is removing non-citizens, there's no evidence that there are any non-citizens on the voting rolls of Florida. And they've used an inaccurate database based on the Department of Transportation data that's out of date. And they have sent letters to voters telling them that they have 30 days to bring proof of citizenship to their local election supervisor, or they will be taken off the rolls. This is just flat out illegal under Florida, under federal law.
Well, let's look at that, because the Justice Department says that Florida will be violating the 1965 Voting Rights Act and the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. So if they have all of this in their favor, the federal government, why is Florida standing up to them saying, well, you've given us this Wednesday deadline, you know what, we're going to continue going forth with this, we're not listening to you?
It's Florida. It's the same playbook they've had since 2000. They violate federal law. They wait for somebody to catch them and go to court and make them stop. And in the meantime, voters are confused. Voters are taken off the rolls and have to be put back on. And if you can shave off even a few, percentage points of voter turnout, then you can affect the outcome of elections. This is manipulation of the election rules for the purpose of stealing elections.
Well, and you say it's Florida. I know you have a long history with Florida. I know you were there in 2000 for the recount. But as we look at this and what's going on right now, what is the next step if Florida doesn't heed the Fed's warning to halt this purge? What can happen? What's the consequence?
Yes, we at the Advancement Project have given notice to Florida that we intend to sue them under the National Voter Registration Act. We need to give them 20 days to respond. So I believe next week or the week after, we will be able to go into court and seek an injunction to stop this purge. The U.S. Department of Justice doesn't even have to wait the 20 days. They can go into court now under the National Voter Registration Act. They can also go into court under the Voting Rights Act. And I applaud the action that the Department of Justice has taken in stepping up and telling Florida that it needs to follow federal law and it needs to stop this continuous pattern of taking away the vote of African Americans and Latinos and Haitian Americans to gain a partisan advantage. Our democracy is just too important to allow that to continue to happen election cycle after election cycle.
Why do I have a feeling that you're going to be spending some time in Florida coming up very shortly?
I've spent a lot of time in Florida. It's the same playbook over and over and over, and we need to really, the federal courts really need to come down strong on this.
Penda D, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.